which resulted in the killing of 2 notorious bandits while others fled with various gunshots. The House resolves to observe a minute silence in honor of the deceased victims being killed by the day. Call on the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to further direct the security agencies to sustain their pressure on these criminals perpetrating violence and criminal activities in Katsina State and the country in general. Urge NEMA and Ministry of Humanitarian and Poverty Alleviation to urgently provide humanitarian assistance to the affected communities and support the displaced persons across the state. Mandate the committees on defense, army, police, and emergency and disaster preparedness to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. It's a straightforward motion. You want to make amendment to it?
The amendment, Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My honorable colleague, Honorable Bargaja Mohammed, member presenting East Assembly Program from Sokoto State. I just make a just 1 minute amendment in connection with this motion moved by my leader, Honorable Sada. The issue of street facing that we are facing in Zamfara, Katsina, it also affects my constituency. It affects my constituency, Isa and Sabon Birni, on daily basis of what I mentioned last week in Sokoto State.
Are you saying, I'm not hearing you, speak to the mic. Are you saying that what is happening in
Katsina
is happening in Zamfara?
It's happening in Zamfara. It's rotating back to Sokoto, to my constituency. Me and my logam are all neighbors.
You are neighbors?
Well, neighbors near him.
Okay.
So
you want to amend that Zamfara?
I want my Sokoto to be included.
You want?
Join issue matter, sir. I want them to be among the 3 states.
You want them
Instead
to
of 2 states,
yes.
We want to make it to be 3.
Okay.
That is Zamfara, Katsina, Sokoto.
Okay, any seconder to that amendment? Let's go all the way to the back, yes?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Dr. Hamid Saba. I represent good people of Idumoro and the Patigi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I support the amendment made by my colleague as well second. Thank you.
Those in support of the amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Chineduaga, amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Right Honorable Comrade Chineduaga ON, I represent Ikwe as Asa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is that this is a national issue, it's a security issue. The same issue is happening in Benue State, the same issue is happening in Niger State, the same issue is happening in some part of the Southeast, that it should be holistically, that the National Security Advisor with the military should all take holistically in all those states that are affected in security in this nation. That is my amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Objection, Mr. Speaker.
Is he not going to water down the motion so much?
It's not going to water down, Mr. Speaker, because there is a transit between Katsina to Niger State. There is a transit from Kaduna to Benue State. So if only Katsina, Sokoto, and that place are being taken care of, there's still been people from Benue migrating back to those areas. It should all be taken care of.
All right. There's nothing like point of objection, Sada Sali. What will happen? No, I'm not recognizing you. I'm saying there is nothing like point of objection. We will allow the motion to be seconded. If it's seconded, then we can debate it. I will give you right of reply before I ask the question. So for now, let us see if he has a seconder. Is anybody seconding what Chineduaga said? The leader of the youths.
Thank you, my right honorable speaker, always considering the youth. I remain Olamiju Wonlo Ayodeji Alao Akala, representing Nigerians starting from Ogbomoso North, South, Orire Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from the State, Oyo State. Mr. Speaker, I raise this afternoon to second the motion as amended by my wonderful senior brother, Right Honorable Oga. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much. Motion for amendment has been moved and seconded. I think Sada Soli wants to come through a point of order. No, we are still on this one. I think you want to come via a point of order, not point of objection. But what is your point of order against that amendment?
Mr. Speaker, my point of order, this amendment is not relevant to this motion. This motion is talking strictly on 17 consistent attack of bandits on 17 local governments in Katsina State. I'm talking strictly on Katsina State. This motion is narrowed within Katsina State. So the amendment is not relevant to this motion because his amendment is not related to Katsina State. Every member has the opportunity to come on matter that affect his constituency. I'm bringing this matter that affects my constituency, and therefore this amendment does not affect my constituency. But if it is the wish of the House to take this matter, and I am a Nigerian, I wish I can have peace for this country. For
I think seriously that your point of order is well taken on relevance. And it's territorial. The motion is territorial. And because it's territorial, to take it away from that territory and place it in a universal pattern that makes it national may water down the objective of that particular motion. I'm also in agreement that Honorable Chinedu Oga's position that this is a national issue. It's also in well-placed argument. But only to the extent that Honorable Chinedu Oga by tomorrow under live television will be coming with a motion that will incorporate the whole nation. For this one to fly, for easy implementation, I think Honorable Sada Soli is in order. So that amendment, you still want to go on with it, or do you want to drop it and we vote on it? Should we vote on it, or you want to drop it? Excuse, please. The person who moved the motion is the only one who has the right to step down his motion. You can't impose it on him. He can say, let's go for voting. He can also say, I'm withdrawing it. So I will give you the first right of refusal, Honorable Chinedu Oga. Honorable Chinedu Oga, you are well protected. You have the right to say, I'm going on with the motion. You have the right to say, I am withdrawing the amendment. And especially, it has been seconded. Yes. No, we have not asked the question. At that point, he can withdraw it before I ask the question. Honorable Chinedu Oga, I'm protecting you. You want to make use of that protection?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I'm Right Honorable Comrade Chinedu Oga Owen. Haven't seen my senior brother pacify me for his personal interest in Katsina State.
I'm going to ask the question. Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against it say nay. The nays have it. Any other amendment to this? Yes, Oshoba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My distinguished colleagues, Olumide Oshoba representing Abeokuta North, Obafemi Ode, and Odeda Federal Constituency. My amendment is that the NSA should look into all the joint forces like OP Mesa operating in all the states of Nigeria that are fully funded by the federal government that are not effective in curbing kidnapping, especially in Katsina and its environs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No, say that again. Say that again.
I said the NSA should look into all the joint forces, police, military, put together in operations like OP Mesa and in other states where you have the police and other military forces jointly safeguarding lives that are being funded by the federal government but are not as effective as they should be. They should look into the reason why these forces are not as effective as they should be with so much funding. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Any seconder to this motion? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Abiur Ahmad Palace is my name. I represent the entire people of Gosos Ife Federal Constituency. I am from Zamfara State. I rise to second the amendment made by Honorable Oshoba. I so second. Thank you.
Why are you looking different today? Is it because they harassed you yesterday? That was a good fashion sense that you introduced yesterday.
No,
I was even tempted that today I'll put my red cap on top of this suit. And don't be surprised if you see me one of these days dressing like you. I actually like that combination. Don't allow them to intimidate you. You can always wear like that. Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of the another amendment, and this should be the still on this motion. Honorable Sarah Sali, everybody is amending a motion. What is in this motion that everybody is interested?
Mr. Speaker,
you don't need to answer that. You don't need to answer that. Let's have your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Akoni Clement Ademola. I represent Ila Boluwadro Federal Constituency. I'm from Osun State. I observed that after Honorable Sada Soli moved that particular...
What's the amendment?
My amendment is that if the man from Zamfara...
Are you amending the...
Yes, if the man from Zamfara raised observation that doesn't concern his own constituency, I mean Katsina. He said Katsina, the man from Zamfara raised an amendment and you supported it. Someone from another place raised an observation and rejected it. What is good from the good is good for the gander. So,
I don't think you are making an amendment. I think you are arguing.
My amendment is that...
You know there's a difference between debate, argument, and debate.
My amendment is that if that should escalate or be, accepted to Zamfara State, it has to be, accepted in the other parts of
No, that is not an amendment. That is an argument. And if you want to know the reason behind the voting of the House that voted in favor of that amendment, the reason is that that motion is territorial. And if there is a neighbor, please sit down, you've not been recognized. Please hear, you are recognized before you speak, please. Please. There is decorum in the House. It is not, we don't argue, we debate. And you only debate when you are given the chance. That motion is territorial. It concerns a particular area. And this is the neighbor. He said, we are neighbors. And a little effect of this will rub off on them. And it was on that ground that this House, not the chair, that the House voted in favor of it. Okay? I think I've cleared that. The last amendment, Manu, please, let's not amend after you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Mansour Manu Soro, member representing the Arazo Ganjua Federal Constituency. I'm from Bauchi.
Manu, speak into the mic, please.
Mr. Speaker, my amendment is to the effect that the National Assembly do call on the National Security Advisor.
We cannot hear you, Manu. I'm sure members are not hearing you. Speak into the mic.
My amendment is to the effect that the National Assembly, the House do call on the National Security Advisor to convene a Northern Security Summit on banditry to enable the Northern states understudy and share various local security approaches for adoption and internalization. I so amend.
Any seconder to that amendment? Did you even hear what he said for you to amend? You are behind. What was the amendment? What did he say?
that Honorable Isa Muhammad Anka is my name, representing Anka Talata Mafara constituency and from Zamfara State, that the National Security Advisor should convey a summit on the need, on the need to minimize the incessant bandit in these territorial areas that have been mentioned by the first mover of this motion.
A summit?
A summit.
By NSA?
Yes, yes, yes.
As a solution to that?
Yes, and I want to second.
I think on the rules of debate, this is irrelevant. Based on our rules. Honorable Sada.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, I respect the views of my colleagues, and I appreciate the security concerns my colleagues share. But still, I will go back to the principles and the merits of this motion. This motion is talking about consistent banditry attacks on 17 local governments in Katsina State, and we're urging the President to further direct the security agents to see that peace and order is restored in these 17 local. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you this. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you this. Half of Katsina State is overtaken by bandits. Half of Katsina State. Half of Katsina State. My house, Mr. Speaker, my house is 600 meters to the camps of bandits. I didn't know when I slept in my house. Talk less of the colleagues. Last week, the governor wanted to go to a place where the bandits attacked, they sacked the whole village. He couldn't break through. So there is the need for government to come to the rescue of Katsina State before we turn into Borno State. That is, I appreciate.
So what's your point? Is that on the point of irrelevance, it should not be
It's not relevant to my motion, Mr. Speaker. It's not relevant. Inviting the National Security Advisor to come to the House is not relevant to this motion at all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Manu, do you think that that amendment is relevant in view of what we're trying to do, or you want to step down the motion?
Honorable Speaker, I'm not saying that we should invite the NSA. What I'm saying is for the House to call on the NSA to convene a Northern Security Summit to enable states to share ideas on the local security arrangement they have with the view to the affected state to learn and internalize. That is what I'm saying. It is not by mere coincidence that states like Jigawa in the north-west, states like Bauchi, that we don't have banditry.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Can it come on a fresh motion? Like we asked Chinedu?
Okay, as the Speaker directs.
Okay, so are you stepping down your amendment? Are you stepping down your amendment?
It's okay. Amendment step down.
All right. Amendment has been stepped down on the leave of the person who proposed it and the House. Please, I want to now put the question. Those in support of the motion as amended, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion is referred to House Committee on Defense, Army, Police, Emergency and Disaster Preparedness and National Security Advisor. National Security and Intelligence. Honorable Taufik, move that we suspend our rules to have this fourth one, and you are going to make it very brief.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Right Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Taufik Abimbola Ajile Soro, I represent Ife, Federal Constituency in Osun State. Mr. Speaker, I'm from the source. I rise under 8 Route 5 for us to step down our rules and allow me to take these motions of matter urgent public importance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Please, which rule are we suspending?
8 Route 5.
Okay, it's important to mention 8 Rule 5-4.
Mr. Speaker,
5-4?
8 Rule 5-2.
5-2.
5-2, sir.
No, it's 5-4.
Mr. Speaker, can I read it for you, sir?
It says not more than 3 of such motions shall be made on the same day.
Okay.
Now we have done 3, we are going to do 4, so you have to suspend this rule, this particular rule, which is 8-5-4.
4, okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise and crave the indulgence of Mr. Speaker, my leaders, and the fellow colleagues that we should suspend our rules of under 8 Rule 5-4 for me to move this motion now. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this motion? Yes. The man in front of him. You, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Honorable Speaker and fellow colleagues. I rise again this morning. My name is Honorable Engineer Dominic Okafo. I represent the good people of Agata Federal Constituency and Anambra State to second the motion that we suspend the relevant rules to allow my good friend and honorable colleagues to present this is a matter of urgent public importance. I so second.
Thank you, Honorable Okafo. Well seconded. Let me ask the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Please make it brief, Taufik. We have so much things to handle.
Very brief, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. This matter of urgent public importance is on the more to death of a veterinary technologist, Mr. Olabode Olawi, by a lion at the zoological garden of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State. The House notes that on Monday, 12 February 2024, a veterinary technologist was mauled to death by a lion at Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, Ile-Ife. Also know that the incident occurred during a routine feeding session when the male lion turned aggressive and attacked a woman while the zookeeper, Mr. Olabode Olawi, was trying to rescue the woman. The lion descended on him. The senior veterinary technologists had been responsible for the well-being of the lions in the zoo since their birth. Concerns that these fatal incidents will have been prevented if the zookeeper had access to tranquilizer. He could have incapacitated the lion to save his life. Also concerned.
Mr. Speaker, point of order. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, what's the point of order?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Kingsley Chinda. I represent Obiakpo Federal Constituency. I'm an Ikwere man from River State. Mr. Speaker, my point of order is hinged on Order 9, Rule 9, Sub-Rule 13. And with your leave, I will read. No member other than a principal officer or the chairman, Committee on Rules and Business, unless invited by the Speaker, shall approach the Speaker when the House is in session, but on matters requiring urgent attention of the Speaker, it may be communicated through the Chief Whip. Mr. Speaker, this has become a consistent occurrence in the chambers of the House. While proceedings are on, you either see members violating Order 9, particularly Rule 9 on issues of behavior. Either the House is rowdy or members will loiter or speak to others very loudly, approach the presiding officer without the leave of the Chief Whip of the House. These are all against our rules, and it does not portend or portray us in good light outside this place. Besides, we know that our proceeding are always on camera, either live or covered if it is not live. So I think that we should begin to look at the provisions of Order 9, particularly Rule 9, and implement them. That's my order, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Yeah, leader, you have anything to say to this? Because you're the leader of the House. It's on the, I think Order 9 had to do with behavior of members in the House.
Yes.
On page 66.
Mr. Speaker, Julius Ihovere, Owan Federal Constituency, Edo State. Let me thank the minority leader for raising this very important issue. Some of us have been to other parliaments within and beyond Africa, and we know the decorum that members display. That decorum and sense of purpose adds to the prestige they enjoy outside when people watch how they behave. It also encourages would-be parliamentarians to want to be like them. I know we have not moved to our permanent sites, but we're all adults here. I want to plead to my colleagues to read Order 9. Please take time to read the entire Order 9, and you will see how much we violate and breach sections of that order. Many of us travel abroad without informing the Speaker. You are breaching the standing order. Imagine if you were in Ukraine or in Gaza, and we didn't know you were there, and you are held captive. How on earth are we going to intervene or rescue you or even console your family? People make phone calls, they bring in food and water, they do all kinds of things. There's a section of prohibition of weapons. I know we don't have security gadgets here, but I want to plead that we look at it, particularly that section on the behavior of members. You can't go through this place without bowing to the mace, and you can't come back from wherever you're going without bowing to the mace. People walk freely, and you have to call them and say, that is the symbol of our power and authority. Without this mace here, anything we are doing here is just talk. We must respect it. If we don't respect it, we can't expect outsiders to do so for us. So I want to appeal to our members. Let's listen to ourselves. Let's make contributions as necessary. Let's keep the personal and private talks to the minimum, and let's do our job here as quickly as possible and go to do other things outside. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
This is a very important issue, and that is what defines us, our dignity and the sacredness of this chamber. If Nigerians chose only 360 members to represent them, you must reflect that dignity. What you reflect here is a true representation of your people. And if you go to Order 9, which is the assignment that the minority leader and the majority leader is giving to us today, and which the chair is affirming, we are affirming that you go back and you read it. Tomorrow we might start testing ourselves on it. You will see subjects like members to stand still. I'm sure while we are addressing this, some people are not even paying attention. It is important that we take note of this because Nigerians are watching us. Number one, members to stand still. At the entry of the presiding officer, all members, you see that in 9.1. Decorum, you see that in 9.2. You go to 9.3, you see members to take their places. I'm sure that one will take more effect when we move to our main chamber. Members to make obeisance to the chair. Crossing the floor of the house is there. You don't just wake up, stand up and you cross anyhow. It's there in our rules, which we all approve. Members passing through the house. You see that in 6. When speaker is putting a question, No member supposed to walk out or across the chamber. But you see the speaker is here speaking, and members will be walking up and down, even when he's putting across the question. You see reading of newspapers. You see members speaking not to be interrupted. You see a member is speaking, another person is interrupting him or shouting him down without being recognized. It's against our rules. You know, you must raise your hand, recognize before you say a word on somebody who is presenting. Take time to read this. Members to be silent. During a sitting, all members shall be silent or shall confer in undertone. Undertone means low, not to be heard loudly. No smoking or chewing of or drinking. We have also seen members taking phone calls while here. It's not allowed. You don't take phone calls. It is there in our rules. The one of dressing, we are getting used to that, and we are doing so well there. Interruption not allowed. Also, when some of the actions are going on. Prohibition of weapons. Members are not allowed to come with any item into the hall, into the chamber. Any item that is capable of being used to hurt somebody. Whether it's walking stick, unless you have a medical report on that, or any item. And prohibition of use of gadgets. You see that in 916. There it says, no member shall operate cameras, tape recorders, telephone, or other communication equipment in the chamber or during committee meeting except strictly for legislative purposes. So I'm sure that we are dignified, distinguished gentlemen, honorable members. We are going to read this and we will apply it. I believe that that point of order that was moved was a good one, and the point of order is hereby sustained. Please, round up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my leaders, my fellow colleagues. I still remain Honorable Taufik Abimbola Ajilisoro, member representing Ife Federal Constituency in Osun State. I'm from the source. I will just move on from where I stopped. Also concerned about this incident wild animals attacks and mauling to death of zookeepers and attendants in our zoological garden and parks across the country. The killing of a zookeeper by a lion at Agodi Garden, Ibadan. A zoo attendant was mauled to death by a lion at Kaduna Ganji Park. And there was another incident of zoological garden in Jos where a lion pounced on a keeper and mauled him to death. Equally concerned about the lack of security measures and safety precautions in our zoological gardens, parks, and lack of tranquilizer in case of attacks and emergency. Further concerns about the little or no hazard allowance for these categories of workers who put their lives at risk in service of their fatherland. The House now resolves to observe a minute silence in honor of the departed souls, and two, urge the National Orientation Agency to embark on sensitization and awareness campaign on the need for the public or private, academics or commercials who keeps wild animals anywhere in the country to observe safety precautions and security measures. And three, mandate the House Committees on Safety Standards and University Education to invite the management of Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, to investigate the incidents and challenges facing the zoological department of the institution in order to forestall future occurrences and report back to the House within 4 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. I think this is very straightforward, and I put the question. Any seconder? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Akoni Clement Ademola. I represent Ila, Buluwadro, Federal Constituency. I'm from Osun State. I stand to second the motion as moved by Honorable Taufik Ajilisoro. I so second.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion is referred to House Committee on Safety Standard and House Committee on University Education. Announcements. This is to announce the demise of Mr. Ben Efeturi, a former clerk to the Senate and deputy clerk to the National Assembly. Mr. Ben Efeturi died this morning after battling with cancer for some years. This hallowed chamber is invited to observe a minute silence as a mark of respect for his demise. This is signed by the clerk of the House of Representatives. Another announcement, honorable members are invited to attend the grand reception organized by the people of Ekeremo local government area, Bayelsa, in honor of Senator Henekin Lopori, Honorable Minister of Petroleum, on Saturday, 9th March 2024, which urge all members to attend, particularly members from the South-South Caucus, relevant supervising committees, chairmen, and members kindly indicate interest at suite 4.67. Departure shall be by 8:30 a.m. prompt at private domestic wing, Abuja Airport. This is signed by Honorable Fred Agbedi. In view of the prayers of the two motions, one from Agilo, Honorable Agilo, and Honorable Sada Soli, who prayed that we observe 1 minute silence, and also in addition to the clock that just passed, shall we rise for 1 minute silence?
Mr. Speaker, please.
And your motion as
yes.
well. And your motion, Agilo Soro. May the souls of the departed rest in perfect peace. Most distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to establish the Nigeria Hunters and Forest Security Service, NHFSS, to prevent and combat forest crime and enhance security within Nigerian forests and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 20th December 2023. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read the third time. Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker.
And I advise that Leader will handle 1 to 7 because all of them are for third reading, if you may, to save us some time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move that HB 90, HB 315, HB 753, HB 316, HB 109, HB 585, HB 875, as listed in our order paper, all be read a third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the third reading of the bills, as listed in the order paper, items numbers 1 to 7 be read a third time. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members. A bill for an act to establish Nigeria Hunters and Forest Security Service to prevent and combat forest crimes and enhance security within Nigerian forests and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Act, (E), laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to enhance effective collaboration with relevant law enforcement agencies and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Life Coaching of Nigeria to be charged with the responsibility for registration, discipline of its members, to systematize the practice of mentoring and coaching and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act, Cap 5, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to clearly define the scope of powers of the chairman of the commission to revoke order or notice under the act to avoid arbitrariness and ensure effective collaboration between the commission and other agencies and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to establish National Metallurgical Training Institute, Shagamu, Ogun State, provide for training, information, supervision, guidance, and advice to students, researchers, and personnel in iron and steel and oil and gas industries for national development and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ado Ekiti, Ekiti State, and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to establish Federal College of Agricultural Technology, Otun Ekiti, to provide full-time courses in agricultural technology, applied science management, and other fields of studies, and to make provision for general administration of the college and for related matters. Third reading.
A bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Life Coaching of Nigeria. No, a bill for an act to amend the, a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Hunters and Forest Security Service, NHFSS, to prevent and combat forest crime and enhance security within Nigerian forests and for related matters, HB 90, read and pass. B for an act to amend the Economic and Financial Crime Commission Act, Cap E, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, enhance effective collaboration with relevant law enforcement agencies and for related matters, HB 315, read and pass. A B for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Life Coaching of Nigerians, CIMLCN, to be charged with the responsibility for registration, discipline of its members, to systematize the practice of mentoring and coaching and for related matters. HB 753, read and pass. A bill for an act to amend the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act, Cap number 5, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to clearly define the scope of powers of the chairman of the Commission to revoke orders or notice under the Act, to avoid arbitrariness and ensure effective collaboration between the Commission and other agencies and for related matters, HB 316, read and pass. A bill for an act to establish National Metallurgical Training Institute, Sagamu, Ogun State, to provide training, information, supervision, guidance, and advice to students, researchers, and personnel in iron and steel and oil and gas industries for national development and for related matters, HB 109, read and pass. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ado Ekiti, Ekiti State, and for related matters, HB 585, read and pass. A bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Agricultural Technology, Otun Ekiti, to provide full-time courses in agricultural technology, applied sciences, management, and other fields of study, and to make provision for the general administration of the college for the related and for related matters, HB 875, read and pass. Honorable colleagues, the eighth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal University of Technology and Environmental Sciences, Iyin, Ekiti State, and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. House members will recall that the bill was transmitted by the Senate, seeking concurrence of the House of Representatives. The bill was read the first time on Thursday, 8 February 2024, and I invite the leader to move that the bill be now read the second time. Bill, please. Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that a bill, number 8, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal University of Technology and Environmental Science in Ekiti, Ekiti State, and for related matters, Senate Bill 174, be read the second time as well. HB 624, HB 991, HB 709, and HB 642 also be read the second time.
Leader, we will take only the first one, and then you come up for the other ones. Minority Leader, just second the first one that he moved.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the bill SB 174 be read a second time. I so second.
Thank you. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, please lead the debate.
Mr. Speaker, this is a Senate bill and